The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) and MacArthur Foundation have advised that the fight against corruption must be owned by all citizens to achieve success in Nigeria. The Assistant Commissioner Public Enlightenment and Education of ICPC, Ese Okwong, says no gain, saying that faith-based institutions are key partners in driving home issues of ethical and morals, which are much needed today in our nation. The country director, MacArthur Foundation, Kole Shetima, says to have good governance in Nigeria, religious leaders must play a vital role in eradicating corruption, which must be demonstrated in their actions in the society. They made the contributions in Abuja on Wednesday during a one-day workshop organized by non-governmental organization of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Education, Social and Health Mission, MESH, supported by Luxterra Leadership Foundation.
When we take public office, we swear either with the Quran or the Bible and say that we are supposed to take this as a responsibility, as a mandate, is a burden on us that we are swearing to uphold and other things. So I hope that they will remember that what they have taken as the Quran or the Bible will be watching them in the conduct of their action, in whatever they do, so that becomes their own guidance, their own principles that will guide them in the conduct of public service.
Stakeholders from the religious sector, religious leaders, faith-based organizations, and the ICPC is saying you have your congregation to reach out to, people in your mosque, people in your churches, people in your religious gatherings, and the ICPC is saying talk to them and tell them that corruption is an ill wind that blows no one any good. It's something that is a scourge that affects each and every one of us. So use your pupils to pass across the anti-corruption message. You can do the work of ICPC. You can reach out to people on behalf of the ICPC wherever you are, as in your sermons.
Some of the participants underscored the need for all stakeholders to do self-examination to achieve success in the fight against corruption.
Corruption is becoming endemic in our society because it is destroying all the institutions we have in Nigeria. So it's a problem, and we have to look at it as a problem. We have to look at it as a disaster, and we must wake up to fight corruption together.
We are talking about corruption from the whole nation, but the nation begins from the society. Society is from the family. Let's begin to fight it from our home. When we are driving our vehicles, when we see that the traffic asks us to stop, let's stop when traffic says stop. This is the beginning of corruption also. If we cannot obey a simple traffic law, then also those who are leading us, those who are in government, we voted them to be able to lead. Not that they are the best, but for part time they are there to serve us, and they make promises. Look at promises they make all this year. They are not fulfilling them, and the fact they are not fulfilling them also is part of corruption.
In her remarks, the lead program officer, MESH, Khadija Oladipupo, said the objectives of the program include mobilizing religious leaders for good governance and inspiring them to be champions of accountability in recognition of the need for faith-based institutions to represent credible voices.
Leaders from both Muslim and Christian faiths who are carefully selected from their various institutions to provide so that they can work on our objective, which is the promotion of accountability, transparency in good governance, especially the role the religious leaders can play in promoting accountability and governance in Nigeria. So we're using this workshop to equip their skills and enhance them, and also to make sure that they use their reach to preach that people should work towards good governance and transparency, both at every level of government, even at our various organizations, that we should be involved in transparency and accountability in everything that we do.
The rate and depth at which our leaders plunder the resources of the country meant for the masses, the laws that are enacted to benefit only themselves and not for you or I, or future generations, it seems they know something we do not. Are we the fools then who are downtrodden by these people, believing that God will intervene, believing that the suffering of today will lead to a better tomorrow? But we do believe in the everlasting kingdom that awaits those who do the right thing. That is why it is much needed for those who are teachers and leaders of the faith to first honestly examine ourselves, examine their teachings, and the tendency to follow those who they are supposed to lead.
Faith-based institutions are key in changing and shaping attitudes in our society through admonitions from sermons in churches and khutbah in the mosques against corrupt practices and other relevant agencies. In Abuja, Nasiru Usman for Signature TV.